What's up, guys? NottheWinner here, and I'm ready to talk to you guys about some patch notes. Sorry for the brightness of the screen. If that bothers you, do apologize. But first things first, let's talk about Swords and Sandals and how quickly many of the small issues are already fixed. He said he'd start on them on Monday. It's Monday. He's done with a ton of them. So he did mention it doesn't cover all the bugs. There's still a lot more changes to come, but let's start about balance changes and stat fixes. So currently in the meta, the magic build and the sonic build were extremely OP. I will admit that. Maybe nerfing them isn't the best call, but improving other things might be. But what they've done instead is really change how some of these stat points affect you. You may already have a character that you feel dedicated to. Guys, it does not take long to get a new character up, and the idea of this game is to make many characters. So do not get too dedicated to one character. Each time patch notes come out, they could either break your character, make your character a god, you don't know. But first off, we have strength now affects range damage. So rangers will now need strength and attack, not agility and attack. Agility is nice for them because then they can create a large distance between their enemies for the bow. So I believe this, in fact, will make bow a little bit weaker. Personal opinion. Agility no longer affects range damage, but it does increase spell hit chance. So now spells require you, instead of just putting all your points in intelligence, which is going to increase your chance to hit with spells, it's going to increase your damage with spells, now you're required to split your stats into agility and intelligence. But you will not really need stamina anymore, because you gain half the amount of essence you would from a stamina point from every intelligence point now, because it no longer affects the hit chance. So that will be nice. No more points in stamina. Agility and intellect will be the only two that you'll really be focusing on outside of vigor. Stamina reducing your chance of falling off cliffs. Yeah, the falling off cliffs is a really annoying thing, and it's very easy to fall off with how low I typically roll. So having a reduced chance to fall, extremely nice. It looks like he noticed the bug I pointed out where the wizards are getting 20% health instead of 20% extra essence. They were, and by the way, it wasn't just 20% health or extra essence. I will test the wizard again, but essentially they were at 85 essence when they should have been in like the 400 range. So they were getting 20% total essence instead of 120% was what the main issue was. But it looks like he may have fixed it here. Reduce the amount of essence you get each level, but increase how much you get from stamina. Basically saying that you can't just out-level your essence problem. You will need some points in either stamina or intelligence. I would probably just put mine, since stamina specifically is for reducing chance of falling and also your essence, I would just put all mine in intellect if I'm going to get it and just increase my spell damage. Increase the essence cost of using skills slightly for physical, significantly for magic and sonic. So it's harder to use our spells. Archery was already expensive, so it's a good thing he didn't really change the cost for archery spells. But the significantly for Magic and Sonic could absolutely obliterate some of the builds that are currently out there, and it's quite interesting to see such a large change. Increase the movement and jump distance by agility for 50% by point. So basically, I'm going to be able to move much further per point in agility. So it will be very useful for getting a larger distance away from enemies on mage builds now, since that's how you're going to hit. Fix the bug where unyielding made you take double damage instead of half. So whenever you'd get like take half damage, I'd notice that I'd get wrecked. Very funny. Very cool that it works properly now and that he noticed it and fixed it. Fix the bug where resetting talents would allow you to keep dual wielding. I never ran into that one, but it's still pretty cool. Next we have over here, remove scaling damage modifier on special skill damages. So that's going to be interesting. Certain special skills, I thought the damage scaling was actually perfect. So getting that taken off could either completely break a lot of things or make them extremely powerful. But here's a big one. Reduced base hit chance of elemental spells. So all of your damage over times that you'd normally be casting have a 20% lower chance to hit now. That is huge. They're now down at like ranger accuracy or burp accuracy, which guess what? Burp and fart reduced by 10% hit chance. So each of those kind of got screwed. Cooldown on spells went from 6 turns to 7, which is devastating to say the least until you start to get those cooldown changes. Cooldown for class specific skills is set to 5 turns. I'm hoping that doesn't affect the guitar skill power chord. If that's not a one like 0 turn cooldown, then Sonic is a dead build. That's the only thing that kept Sonic going, and without that, it's done. So we'll see that. Algorithm for armor values to better represent armor item levels. Basically, the issue that we were running into there, guys, was you would have a level 16 armor with 350 defense, and you'd have like a level 36 armor with 100 defense. Made 0 sense. So it looks like he fixed that already as well. Battle changes. So poison animations do not play on spirit screen. Bug exploit where gladiators would still use skills while electrified, specifically computer glads. We couldn't. CPU glads could also use items while immolated, and that has also been fixed. I never ran into the spiritual hammer being casted too close, causing my game to stall. I was able to cast my spiritual hammer from every single part of the map on my priest without a single issue, so I never ran into the bug that he's talking about there. Shops. Now here's a big one. Fix the bug where unequipping items actually removed the talent points from you. This didn't help you because sometimes you would have 5 in a skill, you'd equip something that should put you to 6, it would keep you at 5, you'd unequip it, and now you'd be at 4 with a missing skill point. It destroyed characters. Now you must unequip items before you can sell them in shops, so no more selling your best item when you're actually trying to sell junk because the game misunderstood. Which is actually huge, guys. You can now equip and unequip items on the same panel, so less clicking, less moving. You can now buy items before you reach the level for them. So sometimes there's a level 6 item in a shop, and you can't buy it because you're level 4, and by the time you hit level 6, the item's gone. It sucked. So now you can always buy those items ahead of time since they are somewhat randomized, whereas the skills are basically always there, and you cannot buy those before the level. Items above your level now show up in red, so you're actually visually able to see it, and doubled the average amount of items for sale at any one shop. So basically, anytime you go to a shop, you have double the items to choose from, which is going to be way, way better. Fix the bug where the equipped item would be sold instead of the actual one that you want. Big. Now, miscellaneous fixes. He fixed the rendering issues, which is going to help some people. Didn't change anything for me. Capped the game at 60 FPS, basically prevents enemies from going like 3 to 4 turns in a row. Current essence shown as 0. Didn't really run into that one. A bug where to crash when reloading day reaches 0. I haven't had my day reach anywhere close to 0 on any of my accounts, and I've done almost everything in the game on those. So anyone reaching day 0, they're just reaching it to reach it. New music for those 2 arenas, cool. Fix the bug where the music wouldn't play in Mesa. And then here's one that I needed. I needed this. Reduce the change of thunder in stormy arenas by 50%. Thunder would click every 3 seconds. You could da-dum, 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 over and over and over, and it was so annoying. So he fixed that and then reduced the volume of many of those sounds. So he reduced the thunder volume and frequency. He listened to both of my suggestions there because I did say it's not just the sound, it's how often it's hitting. So huge that he fixed that. He fixed the visual error in a couple arenas. No longer receive bonus stars on level up. I don't know if I like that. I like receiving bonus stars each time I level up. It's kind of like a big thing. Smooth animation in and out of shops, cool. Dungeons and observatories now have padlocks and appear orange with under construction when you click on them. You can still travel to them because they're waypoints, so you can discover other towns from them, but they will let you know that they are not currently available, so you don't waste all your time heading to those and back. Leaving a shop quickly can cause a crash. Didn't have that issue. I've left shops in the middle of my purchase still going through. Like when you click on something, it does like an animation for the purchase. You can click exit, and I never crashed. So I guess he fixed that, but I never ran into it. Fixed the bug where resting at the campfire on the final day would not trigger the proper ending. I have never made it to the final day, so I don't know. But that's the final set, or not final, that's the newest set of bug fixes. Ton of fixes for him to have made. Obviously there's a ton more stuff that he needs to work on. There was a lot of bugs on the initial setup for the game, but I mean, I saw the patch came out this morning. I wanted to make sure that I created a video on this and really went over these patch notes with you. I do have a couple of videos that are already scheduled out, running until Tuesday, so those will be on pre-patch. but everything coming out after Tuesday, and maybe even something, I might record a little something special for Tuesday, where I show off some of these new changes. The main builds like that I'll be testing is probably going to be how the mage build reacts now, especially under priest and wizard, to see the difference in the mana pools. And also, I might try a melee build out finally. There weren't enough changes to melee for me to really feel the need to do that, but I will say that the most recent changes, such as strength affecting range damage and agility, is increased spell chance. What that does for me is tells me that I can run a melee ranged build by going pure strength and attack and be able to alternate at will using the level 12 skill. So I do see a use for Archer now that's a lot more viable since you don't have to split all of your stats into agility now. So Archer may even make a comeback, guys. Obviously, that one would start as a melee build. I did try Charisma Archer the other day. I didn't record that one. It was more of just to see if there's a way to make Archer work, to see if Bard has a higher hit chance than some of the other classes. And it seemed like Bard had a slightly higher hit chance than Rogue. So I was impressed by that. But yeah, we'll be going for like a melee ranged build and also testing out another couple mages with these patch notes. And then I'm sure there's going to be a lot more patch notes coming out soon, which is really going to determine what builds I'll be trying out. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you thought it was helpful getting all these little patch notes, please let me know and I'll continue to make patch note videos. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.